Thank you. I'm Eric Hein. I'm the bereaved father of a side underride crash victim, my 16-year-old son, Riley, who burned to death in 2015 when a semi-truck and trailer drifted into his lane, ultimately causing the underride crash. For 30 years, my career was a scientist with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, where I regularly worked with large data sets and developed economic analyses to evaluate the potential impact of regulations established through rulemaking. This experience provides me with a unique skill set and mastery of the laws and regulation that govern a federal regulatory agency such as NHTSA. Today, I'll be presenting data and analyses that I've submitted to NHTSA and to regulations.gov on side underride guards and crashes. The first report used NHTSA's public-facing query tool to determine the number of side underride crashes and fatalities cataloged in the FARS database from 2007 to 2020. FARS is the official crash record for fatal vehicle collisions throughout the United States. The purpose of this study was to use the fatal crash data cataloged in FARS to estimate the average annual number of side underride crashes and fatalities. Side underride records were retrieved from FARS using data elements that identified crashes between a large truck and passenger vehicles that were coded as an underride, and the manner of collision between vehicles was an angle or side swipe. The FARS query identified 1,238 fatal side underride crashes recorded from 2007 to 2020. This is an example of a side underride crash into an intermodal chassis semi-trailer. Nearly 80% of the 1,415 fatalities from those side underride crashes were located on interstates, U.S. highways, and state highways. NHTSA surveyed these same roadways where the average speed differential between passenger vehicles and semis was 2.8 miles an hour. In these situations, side underride guards would have been highly effective. FARS is known to underreport underride crashes. Therefore, I use NHTSA's methodology from the ANPRM for side underride guards and apply their undercount correction factor to estimate that nearly 2,200 crashes and 2,500 fatalities occurred during this time frame, or an average of 157 side underride crashes and 179 fatalities per year. The other correction factor is from a statistician who's been contracted by the trucking industry to research the frequency of side underride crashes. Using the second correction factor, there were nearly 3,800 side underride crashes and 4,400 fatalities, or an average of 274 crashes and 313 fatalities per year. I also note that in 1977, the Highway Safety Research Institute at the University of Michigan estimated 195 side underride fatalities occurred each year. Simply put, over the last 45 years, the annual number of fatalities from side underride crashes remains unchanged. I estimated the annual baseline cost of serious injuries and fatalities from side underride crashes is between $4 and $5.9 billion. The Office of Management and Budget requires that baseline economic costs of federal rulemaking actions are measured. Unfortunately, NHTSA ignored this requirement in their ANPRM, concealing the annual societal cost of side crashes and fatalities. This calculation multiplied the U.S. Department of Transportation's monetized values of $313,000 by an estimated 200 serious injuries annually, and $14 million by the estimated 179 fatalities per year from side underride crashes. The baseline also included an estimate of 100 vulnerable road user deaths per year from these crashes. Another important component is the annual semi-trailers manufactured that would be subject to side underride guards. In the 2023 ANPRM, NHTSA estimated that side guards would be installed on 260,000 new semi-trailers. This figure was not based upon the most recent information, but rather was estimated from data obtained over 10 years ago in 2013. There was no explanation why NHTSA did not use or mention any of their very recent 2022 survey data obtained from 100% of all major semi-trailer manufacturer to be subject to side underride guards. A more accurate and readily available estimate comes from Trailer Bodybuilders that reported the actual number of semi-trailers produced from 2020 to 2022, which averaged 211,000 from the same 8 semi-trailer manufacturers that NHTSA surveyed. Another important element is the price of side underride guards. The range of costs comes from the truck industry and NHTSA. In their comment to the ANPRM, Wabash National estimated the 2018 cost of a side underride guard was $896, or $1,084 adjusted for 2023. NHTSA, on the other hand, estimated the Angel Wing, an aftermarket retrofit side guard, would cost $2,990. Noteworthy, NHTSA believed that the adoption of side underride guards would likely lead to reduced costs due to scale and competition, which seems reasonable if you compare a small market retrofit side underride guard, such as the Angel Wing, to guards that would be mass-produced and installed as original safety equipment during the manufacturing of semi-trailers. I followed the Department of Transportation's guidance and methods to conduct a cost-benefit analysis for side underride guards. I used the following key parameter estimates: the annual mitigation of between 50 to 150 fatalities, and the annual mitigation of between 50 and 150 serious injuries. The mitigation of these fatalities and serious injuries would be easily achievable with an average of 279 passenger vehicle and vulnerable road users fatalities that occur annually. Importantly, this also factors in NHTSA's and other researchers' data that demonstrate the effectiveness at side guards up to 50 miles an hour, which NHTSA inexplicably chose to ignore in their own cost-benefit analysis. I also used the Department of Transportation's monetized values for serious injuries and fatality, a range of costs for side underride guards between $1,000 and $3,000, a fuel impact of 0.25% from the additional weight, and 245,000 semi-trailers manufactured each year. Using these led to an estimated annual economic benefit of side underride guards between $540 million and $1.4 billion. I also explored the addition of aerodynamic skirts on side underride guards, which can save a minimum of 700 gallons of diesel per semi-trailer per year for an estimated annual benefit of $750 million. To put this in perspective, the addition of aerodynamic side skirts to side underride guards would offset all costs in less than 1 year, resulting in a total annual benefit between $1.1 and $2.1 billion. The addition of an aerodynamic side skirt to a side underride guard is currently available from Utility Trailer, whose website describes that their side impact guard is, quote, fully compatible with Utility's aerodynamic side skirt to improve safety without sacrificing performance. So here's my recommendations to the ACUP. Be critical and question the accuracy of NHTSA's cost-benefit analysis. As I noted, NHTSA failed to develop an annual baseline cost of serious injuries and fatalities from side underride crashes, obscuring the true cost. They inappropriately ignored their own 2022 survey data from all semi-trailer manufacturers regarding side underride data. They inflated the number of semi-trailers produced. They disregarded safety benefits to vulnerable road users, and they truncated their own data that side underride guards would be effective in mitigating serious injuries and fatalities up to 50 miles an hour. The ACUP should recognize that NHTSA's significant lapses led to erroneous conclusions in their cost-benefit analysis. As I've demonstrated using readily available data and the Department of Transportation's methods, the economic benefits of side underride guards substantially outweighs the costs, indicating that the ACUP's report should strongly recommend that side underride guards are installed on all applicable semi-trailers. Thank you. I'll take any questions now.
Anybody have any questions for Eric? Jeff?
Yeah, hi, Eric.
Hi, Jeff.
The testing that you were referring to, side underride guards, the tests that we've done IHS has done tests. We've done tests. The Stop Underrides groups, they've run a bunch of tests with, Aaron on the board here or on the committee here, et cetera. The effectiveness of the side guards has not been determined. And so, what we can see right now, the angel wing, the utility side guard, we've done some flexible rubber band type versions like what Eric is proposing. The effectiveness is definitely random. If you crash into anywhere but dead center of the guard, it's not effective. I even saw some recent footage provided to us from a test that the Stop Underride group did. 45-degree crash, 45 miles an hour, which equates to about 31-mile-an-hour impact, perpendicular to the guard. Just basically the whole guard just sheared off and there was complete underride. So again, the angel wing is not effective except in very special cases so far. How can you come to the conclusions that you did, noting that maybe the side underride guards that are available today or have always been available, if you will, not being effective more, a very minority amount of the time?
So I didn't come to that conclusion. I relied on other researchers to come to that conclusion. And I'll just read a short quote from NHTSA's report in 2018. Accident data and case evaluations indicate that the vast majority of truck underrides occur in the impact speeds of 30 to 50 miles an hour. The successful testing and simulations at speeds up to 50 miles an hour and angles from 90 to 15 degrees further speaks to the wide range of accident scenarios and severities for which side underride protection is proven effective. I would also note there was a PhD from Bodapati in 2004. Marathi published 2 papers, 2011, 2012. Galipo-Belair, another PhD in 2013, and his published work in 2014, and Matos et al. In 2021, all came to the same conclusions. Side underride guards would be effective at speeds up to 50 miles an hour.
Well, but the point is, right now, I have a guard, Angel Wing has a guard, Mr. Kiefer has a guard. None of them meet what you're talking about. There are no side guards that do what you just quoted at all.
These are all peer-reviewed. These are all peer-reviewed papers, Jeff. These are not my conclusions.
Eric, I understand they're not your conclusions. You're quoting somebody else, but that is not fact. And we need fact. We need evidence to go forward. You say you want to go one direction, but it has to be supported by the facts, and you haven't really supplied. You're just quoting other people.
I just want to get 1 or 2
Fair
more
point.
comments in and then we'll move on. John?
I just want to ask, has these comments been submitted to the docket for the ANPRM that's out there?
Yes.
And
Yes.
okay, and do you have any indication from DOT that they are not going to consider these?
We've heard nothing from DOT other than they're looking at everyone's comments.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, this is an open rulemaking. It's being considered right now.
That's correct. All
Okay.
I'm doing is pointing out where NHTSA did not use the best available information, in my expert opinion. Of course, they are entitled to their own opinion, but knowing that they were supposed to use the best information available, and what I presented today was I didn't believe that was the case in their cost benefit analysis.
Thank you, Mr. Hein.